Owen, Wes has been raving about your initial audition, which I believe was a self-tape.
Uh-huh.
Can you tell from your side of the story what you did in that tape? And also, like, how does one know that they have the confidence within them to play an ape in a huge movie like this? How do you know you could do this?
I don't think I did. I had to kind of find that as we were going. The tape was really, you just play the scene. You just try to get to the truth of the character, and I didn't really do too much in terms of being an ape. I don't think there were a few things that I tried to sort of hint at physically, but for the most part, it was just I was, on the ground and kind of using my hands in a certain way, but really I was just doing it like I would any other audition.
Freya Nova is not an ape, but you are very, when we first meet her, she's very feral. What did it take to get into that sort of mind state, sort of both emotionally and physically, to play the feral aspect of her?
Yeah, well, it was about striking the balance, because May is pretending to be a feral human, so it had to convince audiences and the apes that she is, but while also being able to see that it is an act, through once you realize that she can speak, if that makes sense. For example, the feral humans had a very specific way of running, and I still run very much like how we know. Yeah. And so there are those little things. I think it was honestly a lot simpler than people, might imagine. It was just basically doing what I did as a child and just pretending to be an animal, and that's basically what May is doing. She's pretending to be what she would imagine the feral humans to be. So, there was a kind of deer in headlights quality to it, I guess. I feel like I felt very small when May was pretending to be a feral human, and she kind of just comes out of her shell in that way.
We hear a lot about Ape School with these movies. You spent 6 weeks learning how to be an ape. What is the weirdest thing you had to do in Ape School?
Well, we did this exercise that was just a kind of a trust building exercise, really. We did a lot of work that wasn't specifically about how to, be an ape, and it was just work, with our bodies, physical, movement work. It's kind of get in touch physically what was going on. We did this one thing that we actually did, I think, did we do it with you?
The lifting up thing? Yeah.
We would close our eyes, and everybody else in the group would lift us, lift the one person in the center up and carry them around the room on their hands as they had their eyes closed, and drop them off at a different point in the room, which was fairly bizarre, but
was it?
Really,
it was the case that, because I know that for me, I didn't know. You guys just told me to close my eyes, and I didn't know what was going to happen. Was that the case for all of you, or was it had become?
No, we knew that was going to happen.
See, with me, I came in. Yeah. I was one of the last people to be cast, and I came in to the Ape School, and they just
kind of visited every so often.
Yeah, and they just told me to shut my eyes, and I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
And they were just lifting me, but it works, because I remember feeling like, oh my God, I've been welcomed in. It felt like a big hug.
Yeah, you trust the people you're with immediately with those kinds of exercises.
Was that one of the more surreal experiences you've had as an actor, being surrounded by performers pretending to be apes on set? I was on the set of Dawn, and I feel like you get used to it eventually. Like, you forget that you're working with humans, but it's got to be weird at first.
Yeah, it is. I think it was funny because people have been asking my last job, what do you want to do? And I was like, I feel like doing something really, normal, sat around a table, just having some conversations with people. Cut to me in Australia walking into a dungeon full of humans pretending to be chimpanzees. It was, the complete opposite of what I ever imagined going into, but it was amazing to get to see them do that. But I keep saying this, but the weirdest thing was more so I had to do all the scenes without them as well. So there's basically 2 movies that have been shot here, and a lot of the shots that you actually see in the film I will have actually been doing on my own, and no one's there in that. A lot of my reaction is just me with the air. You
didn't even get tennis balls? It was just
no, I would just find various marks in on the walls or in the trees, or I'd have to do stuff like if an ape was dragging me along, I'd have to drag myself. So it's very bizarre.